Hi everyone. I know I'm supposed to be resting, and I guess I kind of am. But if you think I'm going to let the Dankula thing pass without comment, you got another thing coming. This is my jam. Um, he suspected this was going to happen, and this was already decided a long time ago. I think all of us hoped it wouldn't, but it has. I see a lot of people making videos on it, and I see a lot of other people saying that a lot of other people are making videos on it. But it is worth doing. We are getting traction in the UK comedy scene, we're getting traction internationally. It's made Scotland and by extension the UK a laughing stock for all the wrong reasons. And these are all useful points of pressure. You know, there are comedians like Ricky Gervais and others who have access to resources and money that might be able to help Dank out, who have a dog in the fight, so to speak. So that, you know, the more fuss and awareness we can raise, the better. So I would say don't be put off making a video. In fact, do make a video. Make a video, make a blog post, put something on all your social media, and it'll snowball, and we'll get somewhere. So that's the first practical thing that I think people can do to help, is to just do that, raise awareness. But that's never enough in and of itself. We need to do more than just raise awareness. Now, hopefully it'll go to appeal, but if Dank gets a suspended sentence or community service or something like that, he might be, him and his family, his girlfriend might be happy to just go with that, because this kind of thing is a massive stress. It would be unfortunate. I hope they go to appeal, because the problem with this is that it sets a precedent, and that, legal precedent is how a lot of the law is set down. And censorship is like Pringles. Once they pop, they can't stop. So even the people who maybe think this is bad in some way, you should be fighting against any kind of legal sanction, because it never stops there. It always extends. We've seen that already recently with the extension of private censorship on Facebook and Twitter and YouTube and all the rest of it. So we need to nip this shit in the bud. Now, a lot of Americans are commenting, and I don't think they're quite getting the way that the UK works politically. I see a lot of Brits doing the same thing. Scotland has its own separate legal system. It's somewhat harmonised with the UK one via EU law, but it has its own courts, its own system. There's lots of similarities, but there's also lots of differences. So the British Parliament has very little say over how things work in Scotland. So writing to your MP in England isn't really a great deal of use, because they don't really have any say. I mean, there's still the angle that it's an embarrassment to the country as a whole, internationally and so on, and there's some pressure that they could put on, or that they could put on the Scottish version of their party, like Scottish Labour, Scottish Conservatives, or whatever. But you're unlikely to get a lot of traction that way. It's still worth doing, don't get me wrong. I would still suggest that you write to your MP or whatever, but it's not the best place to apply pressure. There's better places. If you can find out who his European Member of Parliament is, then writing to the EU Member of Parliament's probably a good bet, and remind them of Article 10 of the European Rights Convention, which guarantees freedom of speech. Now, it is subject to restrictions, but they have to be reasonable. So I don't think this qualifies as reasonable. Anyway, that's a good that's a good place to apply some pressure. The best place to apply pressure is directly to the Scottish regional government. Now, the person you really want to talk to is the Cabinet Secretary for Justice of the Scottish Parliament. His name is Michael Matheson. On Twitter, he's Matheson Michael, so at MathesonMichael. The email just goes to a generic scottish.ministers@gov.scot, but if you put for the attention of Michael Matheson, maybe that'll get to him. Whoever Dankula's MP is another good person to target, as is whoever his member of the Scottish Parliament is. Now, I don't know what those are because I don't have his docs, but if he can let us know who they are, we can contact them. If they do go to appeal, they're going to need money. I think his girlfriend, who I'm sorry, is it Sue? Your name escapes me at the moment. I'm terribly sorry. I'm bad with names. She estimated it to be about £24,000 if they decide to go to appeal. So that's a target we can look at to raise if they do decide to go to appeal. And we need to respect their choice either way. But I really do hope that they do go to appeal, because this is a precedent that we really can't allow to be set. So yeah, I'm a lot angrier than my lethargy makes obvious. But if I can get off my arse and make this video and write to these people in the depths of a fit of depression, then you bastards certainly can. Sang. Boop.